Archangel Michael says, "In 7 minutes a secret vault with huge money in your name will be revealed. Open this now before it's gone." But the wealth spoken of is not just gold or silver, nor is it treasure that fades with time. It is the eternal richness that flows from the heart of God, a divine inheritance waiting to be received by those who believe, trust, and walk by faith. This wealth is hidden not in earthly banks, but in the tender love of our Heavenly Father, who gives without measure, and whose blessings overflow into every corner of our lives when we simply open our hearts to Him. Type 555 if you believe. There are moments in life when we feel forgotten, when all doors seem shut and the light appears far away. But it is in these very moments that the voice of God echoes the loudest through the quiet. You may not hear thunder, nor see flashes of glory, but your soul knows when it is being held by something greater. That presence, soft and powerful, is the love of Jesus Christ embracing you gently, reminding you that you are never forsaken and never lost. Even when the world fails to understand your tears, Jesus does, and He keeps every one of them close, like precious drops of rain before a great harvest. Many have walked through valleys where hope seemed buried beneath the weight of sorrow and worry. They have carried pain, heartache, and confusion in silence. But the light of Christ was never far. Sometimes it shines through the kind word of a stranger, sometimes through the silent strength you didn't know you had. And when the vault of heaven opens, it is not coins that fall, it is healing, it is peace, and it is the unshakable assurance that God still moves, still hears, and still saves. There is a wealth in knowing that even your brokenness is seen as beautiful by the one who created you. You do not have to be perfect to be loved, and you do not have to earn what God gives freely. His grace is poured out not upon the worthy, but upon the willing. His mercy is not delayed, it is waiting, right here, right now, like a gentle tide reaching the shores of your weary heart. Type 1111 if you trust in God. God's vault is not locked by keys, but by doubt. And what opens it is not force, but faith. When you take even a small step in belief, heaven responds with abundance. That abundance may come in ways you never imagined. Sometimes it's the healing of a relationship that felt shattered. Sometimes it's an unexpected opportunity, or a calm that finally replaces anxiety. Sometimes it's the strength to let go of what was never yours so your hands can receive what is. Jesus never promised a life without storms, but He did promise His presence in every one of them. You are not standing alone in your struggle. Every burden you carry, every quiet prayer whispered through tears, is heard. And in His perfect timing, He answers, not always in the way you asked, but always in the way you need. Sometimes the vault of blessing opens when you least expect it. Not because you earned it, but because God delights in surprising His children with goodness. A powerful 9-word prayer once classified by secret agencies has now leaked, and it's quietly rewriting destinies. In under 30 seconds, it reprograms the mind to attract wealth and dissolve scarcity. Users are reporting surprise income, restored hope, and financial peace. But this page might be deleted at any time. Click the link now before it's taken down without warning. The wealth of God is measured in joy that remains even in sorrow, in peace that holds firm even in chaos, and in love that refuses to let go. You are not waiting to be chosen, He already called you by name before you even knew Him. His eyes have seen you through every season, every loss, every start, and every end. And still, He declares you worthy, still, He calls you beloved, still, He says, "Come to me." When you walk with Jesus, you walk in light, even when the night is dark. When you trust God, you plant seeds in soil that will bloom at the right time. Every prayer is a key, every act of kindness a door, and every moment of faith a treasure stored in the heavens, marked with your name. You are not empty, you are being filled, little by little, breath by breath, with a love that never runs dry. This love does not fade when you fail, and it does not vanish when you're afraid. It stays. It lingers. It protects and restores. Like a blanket over a child in the cold, it covers your heart and says, "You are safe with me." The vault of heaven is not far away, it is already opening. And within it is everything you've longed for: peace, belonging, restoration, purpose, and the kind of love that cannot be shaken. The Father does not give halfway. He does not offer hope with conditions or love with expiry. When He gives all. When He promises, He fulfills. His word does not return void, and His plans for you are not built on chance, but on a foundation older than time itself. You were formed with care, chosen with intention, and carried with love. Keep walking. Keep believing. Keep looking up. Because the blessings being poured out are not coming from the world, but from heaven itself. And there, your name is written not in ink, but in light. God's vault has never run dry, and it never will. What He has for you cannot be stolen, delayed, or destroyed. Sometimes, the blessings arrive not in grand, thunderous waves, but in soft, quiet moments that catch your soul by surprise. The vault is opening not with noise, but with stillness. It is not about reaching for the world, but receiving the presence of the Lord right where you are. Type yes to affirm. There is something holy about the way God works in hidden places. Much like a seed buried beneath the earth, your faith grows long before the breakthrough is visible. You may not see the vault unlocking, but deep in the silence, angels are already moving. There are moments when your prayers seem unanswered, but heaven is not silent, it's preparing. The delay you feel is not denial. It is often God's way of perfecting what you asked for so that it arrives wrapped in peace, not pressure. Too often we search for wealth with our eyes, not realizing that God builds riches in our hearts first. A heart rich in love, rich in patience, rich in grace, is the kind of wealth that can never be stolen. That kind of treasure can't be lost in a storm or disappear in the night. It remains. It multiplies. It softens the hardest days and strengthens the weakest hours. And God, in all His compassion, is the giver of such abundance. When Jesus walked the earth, He didn't give coins, He gave healing. He didn't offer castles, He offered freedom. He didn't hand out crowns, He gave peace. And those were the treasures that changed lives. That same Spirit walks with you even now, whispering to your spirit, comforting your pain, lifting your head when you no longer have the strength. That is the open vault. That is the miracle arriving in your life, not with noise, but with divine love. Some days, you may feel forgotten by the world. You might wonder if your prayers have disappeared into the wind. But God has never turned His face from you. He has never walked away, even when you drifted. His love does not measure worth by success. His grace does not rely on perfection. He comes close to the broken-hearted, and in your weakest moments, He wraps you in strength that does not come from this world. Type 222 if you trust Jesus. You are being prepared for more than you asked for. While you look for answers, God is working on transformation. While you long for a single door to open, He is building a path you never considered. The vault with your name on it holds more than blessings. It holds direction, wisdom, protection, and promises. But these cannot be rushed. Just as a flower cannot bloom in haste, the beauty of God's plan unfolds with time. Even when you don't feel it, your life is being led by grace. That missed opportunity? It was protection. That long season of waiting? It was preparation. The silence you feared? It was God making room for something better than you imagined. He knows the desires of your heart because He placed them there. But He also knows when you're ready, and He will never give you a treasure before you are able to carry it with peace. Jesus is not distant. He is in every moment you choose kindness instead of anger. He is in every tear you cried alone, thinking no one saw. He was with you during every setback, quietly guarding your spirit from collapse. And now, He is leading you into a new place. A place where you'll realize the treasure isn't only about what you receive, but about who you become while waiting. Sometimes God lets the world get quiet so your soul can hear again. He slows things down not to punish, but to prepare. In the slowness, He strengthens you. In the waiting, He reshapes your vision. What felt like a delay is actually a holy appointment, a sacred moment where heaven whispers, "It's coming, my child, just hold on a little longer." There's nothing you have walked through that will be wasted. Every pain has a purpose. Every trial has a testimony hidden within it. And every moment of doubt is an invitation to deeper trust. This is what heaven's vault truly holds: strength to rise again, love that never abandons, and hope that outlives every storm. You were never meant to live by sight alone. Faith is what moves mountains, opens vaults, heals wounds, and changes everything. And your faith, even if it feels small, is not unnoticed. God does not wait for perfect prayers, He responds to sincere hearts. A single whisper from your spirit, a single step forward in trust, is enough to move the heart of the Father. So take this moment to remember, what's meant for you is not slipping away. God doesn't tease. He doesn't dangle promises like unreachable stars. He delivers, always on time. And when that vault opens, what pours out will be so much more than you expected. It will be healing, joy, peace, and the sweet knowing that your life is held in the hands of a faithful and mighty God. There is no need to strive. You are already seen. There is no need to earn. You are already loved. Let go of the idea that you have to be perfect to be blessed. Jesus didn't come for those who have it all together. He came for the broken, the weary, the forgotten, and the lost. He came for you. And He's still here. You don't have to understand everything to believe. You don't need to see the full path to keep walking. Just take today, just take this moment, and rest in the promise that God is doing more than you know. The wealth in your name is being prepared, not just for your hands, but for your heart, your soul, your future, and your story. It is everlasting, carved in light, and sealed by the love of God Himself. It's the wealth of peace after chaos, hope in the middle of despair, healing that touches the soul before the body, and a deep, enduring joy that rises even through tears. Type 1919 to receive miracles. There are many walking through life with heavy hearts, feeling unseen, unheard, and unsure if things will ever change. But heaven sees what others miss. Your journey has not been overlooked by the one who knit you together. Every quiet night, every cry you thought vanished into the dark, every silent prayer you barely had the strength to whisper, God heard it all. And not one moment of it has been wasted. Not one has been ignored. What if you discovered a tiny, walnut-sized brain region holds the secret to endless wealth and success? Recently uncovered by groundbreaking research and once buried in classified files, this frequency is now available to anyone ready to listen. Imagine replacing worry and struggle with a life of financial ease and freedom. Interested? Click the link in video description and comments below to unleash this hidden brain wave and start attracting wealth right now. You have been guided to this message for a reason, and if you turn away, the chance may not return. This is your time to step in. This is not a story about what you've lost. This is a story about what God is restoring. The vault of blessing that belongs to you is not empty. It has not expired. It has simply been waiting for the right moment. And that moment is not far. In the places where you thought your life was falling apart, it has been quietly falling into place under God's divine timing. You may not feel it, but faith doesn't need to feel, it only needs to trust. The greatest miracles often arrive quietly, with the gentleness of morning light after a long night. You might not even realize something is shifting until one day you look back and see how far you've come. That's what happens when you walk with God. He leads you even when you cannot see, and carries you even when your strength is gone. You are not walking in circles. You are walking towards something holy, something promised, something written with your name on it before you were born. God's timing is not delayed, it's perfect. And while you wait, He's not just working on the blessing. He's working on you. He's stretching your patience, deepening your compassion, strengthening your character, and teaching you how to find Him in every moment. Not just in victory, but also in silence. This kind of preparation cannot be rushed, because the blessing He's preparing is not small. It is sacred. It is lasting. It is meant to bless you, and those around you. Type 555 if you're ready to receive what's yours. So many carry shame like a cloak, believing they're unworthy of anything good. But God's love doesn't work like human love. His love isn't fragile. It doesn't vanish when you make mistakes. It doesn't disappear when you're tired, or when your faith feels weak. His love is fierce, unwavering, and patient. He loves you not because of what you've done, but because of who He is. And who He is faithful. The secret vault is opening, not because you forced it, but because God ordained it. What's coming isn't luck, its legacy. It's the result of every seed of faith you planted, even when the ground felt dry. It's the return on every moment you chose hope instead of bitterness, kindness instead of revenge, love instead of judgment. Heaven keeps a record of every act of obedience, every tear, every quiet act of trust. And now, it's being returned to you in ways you couldn't have imagined. This is the season where the unseen becomes seen. This is the time when what was hidden is revealed. Not because you have everything figured out, but because God's promises are true even in your uncertainty. The vault is not a mystery to be solved. It is a promise to be opened with faith. And when it opens, it won't just bless your hands, it will fill your spirit with a peace that has no explanation but God. Think back to all the times you were held up by something unseen. That moment you thought you'd fall apart, but didn't. That night you thought would never end, but somehow you made it through. That's not coincidence. That's not chance. That's the evidence of God already at work. He's been guarding the vault, protecting the treasure, and preparing you to receive it fully. You don't need to strive. You don't need to compete. God's plan for you cannot be taken by anyone else. What is meant for you will always find you. And when it does, you won't have to fight to keep it, because God gives gifts that come with peace, not pressure. He is not a God of confusion, but of clarity. He doesn't bring you into abundance to overwhelm you, He brings you to show you that He is good, and He is near. This moment, right now, is part of that opening. Each breath you take, each quiet surrender of fear, each small act of belief is unlocking something in the spiritual realm. The vault is not far. It's as close as your next prayer, your next step, your next yes to God's will. The wealth that is yours is already written into the fabric of your story. It's not just about what you have, but about who you are becoming in Christ. Your heart was made to hold more than fear. It was made to carry faith. Your hands were meant to build, not to break. Your spirit was formed for more than worry, it was made to worship. And in worship, the vaults of heaven shake open, and blessings pour like gentle rain on a soul that's been dry for too long. Let the promises of God wash over your doubts. Let His goodness drown out the voices that say you're not enough. Because He never created you to barely survive. He created you to thrive in His presence, to walk boldly in your purpose, to rise even when the world tries to press you down. This is your time. Not because the world says so, but because heaven is declaring it. Type 666 if you trust Jesus. Every life has a turning point, a sacred pause when heaven leans in a little closer and gently stirs something inside the soul. You may not recognize it at first, but it begins with a soft ache, the longing to be seen, to be known, to be loved with no conditions. That ache is not weakness. It is the place where Jesus meets you, not with judgment, but with open arms and a heart that understands your every unspoken word. There's a reason why you've walked the path you did. Every loss, every delay, every unanswered prayer carried seeds of something divine. It may have looked like a detour, but God was drawing you closer. He was never punishing you, He was pruning you, shaping your heart to hold something greater. The vault of your life could never open without the preparation. And now, as your heart begins to believe again, something beautiful is unlocking. What if I told you financial freedom is not about working harder, but activating a dormant brain signal designed to draw abundance directly to you? Neuroscience proves this sound wave unlocks prosperity faster than any method known before. From unexpected cash to life-changing success, it's already helping thousands. Imagine looking back tomorrow wishing you had acted today. Do not let regret replace the miracle that is calling you right now. Click the link in the video description and comments below to turn on the ancient money wave and create the life you've always dreamed of today. God's wealth is not just measured in what you receive, it's reflected in how deeply you know Him. And in the valleys, in the silence, in the stretching of your faith, that's where He becomes real in a way that changes everything. The presence of Jesus doesn't always roar like thunder. Sometimes, it arrives like a gentle whisper, like the soft breath of peace when your heart finally stops running and simply rests in His truth. The world teaches us to chase, to strive, to achieve more. But the kingdom of God works in reverse. The first are last. The weak are made strong. The humble are lifted. The broken are chosen. And when you finally let go of what the world told you to become, that's when you start discovering who God created you to be. That's when the vault begins to open, not because you forced it, but because your spirit aligned with God's timing. Type 1212 if you walk by faith. You are not behind. You are not too late. You are exactly where you need to be for what God has planned next. And even if you feel weary, even if your prayers feel tired, He is still near. Heaven is not distant. The vault is not delayed. The blessings meant for you are not lost, they are gathering, being multiplied, refined through your endurance, and prepared to meet you in a way that will make sense of the waiting. Jesus knows the weight you carry. He knows the quiet sacrifices, the inner battles, and the nights you lie awake wondering if things will ever change. But He is the same yesterday, today, and forever. And He has never failed one soul who placed their trust in Him. You are no exception. You are not forgotten. You are not unseen. Every moment you've endured in faith has been building something eternal. The vault of heaven does not open for those who have it all together. It opens for those who dare to believe even when their world feels like it's falling apart. It opens for the ones who keep showing up, keep praying, keep hoping, even when everything in them wants to give up. God honors that kind of faith. He blesses that kind of heart. There is a deep strength growing inside you, one that doesn't come from comfort, but from courage. It's the strength that says, I will keep trusting God even when I don't understand. That is the key. That is what unlocks the vault. Not perfection. Not performance. But quiet, steady faith that holds on when nothing makes sense. The blessings coming to you are not just about what you need now, they are about who you are becoming in Christ. They are about the story God is writing through your life that will one day encourage someone else. Your journey, your healing, your survival, it matters. It is proof of God's power. You are becoming a vessel, not only to receive blessings but to carry them forward, to reflect God's goodness into the lives of others. Don't measure your worth by how the world sees you. God looks deeper. He sees the beauty in your brokenness, the courage in your tears, and the faith in your waiting. And He is not finished. What He began in you, He will complete. The vault isn't opening because you've been lucky. It's opening because you've been faithful. Because you've endured. Because you've trusted when it was hard. And now, the reward is on its way. You may feel small, but you are part of something eternal. You may feel tired, but strength is coming. You may feel uncertain, but heaven is sure of who you are. The vault with your name on it isn't just a promise, it's a declaration. A reminder that your story is not over. That your life still holds miracles. That you are still chosen. And when the blessings arrive, they will not just fill your hands, they will heal the places in your heart you thought would never feel whole again. They will make sense of what was broken. They will bring back joy. And above all, they will draw you closer to the one who has been by your side from the very beginning. Type 2323 if you agree. So many days, it may have felt like you were walking alone, like your voice got lost in the noise of life. But God has been listening the entire time. The vault of heaven never ignores the cries of a faithful heart. There is not a single word you whispered in the dark that He didn't hear. Your prayers were not empty. They were gathered. They were held. And they are now being answered in ways that will leave you in awe. You may look back and wonder why things didn't happen sooner, why the blessing took so long. But heaven is never late. There are things God wanted to build in you before He handed you what you asked for. You weren't being punished, you were being prepared. You weren't being delayed, you were being deepened. Because some treasures can only be carried by those who have learned how to trust even when the path is hidden. There's something sacred about being refined in silence. When you're stripped of distractions, you begin to see clearly. When the world's noise fades, God's voice becomes louder. And in those moments when you felt everything breaking, it was actually God's hands shaping you, gently, patiently, lovingly, into someone who can hold more than you imagined. An ancient 9-word code, once reserved for high-level insiders, has been uncovered. It's simple, quick, and shockingly effective at drawing money and blessings into your life. Neuroscientists confirm it stimulates the brain's receiving center, an area dormant in most people. People everywhere are calling it the 30-second miracle. Click the link in the description and comments before the authorities remove it again. God doesn't just want to give you blessings. He wants to give you the ability to keep them. That's why He takes His time. He is not just pouring wealth into your life, He is shaping your heart to receive it with peace, with purpose, and with gratitude that overflows. This is not about a quick miracle. This is about transformation. It's about becoming someone who lives not for the world, but through Christ. Type Amen if you believe. You are closer now than you've ever been. You may not see it, but the heavens are already opening. Doors you thought were shut forever are quietly being unlocked. The vault is not just filled with what you want, it's filled with what you need. Healing for the wounds you kept hidden. Joy to replace the sadness that's lingered too long. Answers to prayers you forgot you even prayed. This is how God moves, not always loudly, but always perfectly. It's okay if you're tired. It's okay if you've stumbled. The walk of faith isn't always graceful, but it is always holy. Each step you've taken, even the shaky ones, has brought you closer to God's heart. He never demanded perfection, only your willingness to trust Him. And if all you can offer today is a small prayer and a quiet yes, that is more than enough. Let this be the moment you stop striving. Let it be the moment you lay it all down, your worries, your fears, your doubts, and say, God, I give this to you. Because the truth is, you were never meant to carry it all alone. Jesus has been walking beside you all along, whispering hope when all you heard was fear. He's been strengthening you in the silence, comforting you in the storm, and preparing you for a promise that's worth the wait. Sometimes God doesn't calm the storm right away because He's calming you first. Sometimes He allows the fire, not to burn you, but to refine you. And sometimes, what feels like an ending is just the beginning of something far more beautiful than you ever dared to hope for. That's how deep His love goes. That's how personal His plan is. And that's how powerful His timing can be. You are standing in a sacred space right now. A space between what was and what's coming. A place where your past no longer has power, and your future is being rewritten by grace. You don't have to chase what's already yours. You don't have to beg for what God already promised. You just have to believe, even if all you have is a little faith left. That's all it takes. Not mountains of confidence. Not flawless devotion. Just a willing heart that still dares to say, I trust you, Lord. That small act of faith moves heaven. It turns the keys. It opens the vault. And what comes out will not just bless you, it will restore every place inside of you that has felt empty for too long. This is the beauty of God's love. It doesn't just fill the gaps. It overflows. It doesn't just fix the brokenness. It builds something entirely new. He doesn't just give you back what you lost, He adds more than you could ever expect. That is the wealth He holds in His hands for you. That is the inheritance He set aside from the moment He dreamed you into existence. So don't fear the unknown. Don't worry about how it will happen. Just stay rooted in faith, because faith is what makes the invisible become real. And right now, even as you breathe, something is shifting. The season is turning. The heavens are opening. And the vault, your vault, is being unlocked by a love that never fails. Type 222 if you believe Jesus is working behind the scenes for you. You may not realize it yet, but there's something sacred happening in your life. The things you thought were setbacks have been divine setups. The people who left were never meant to stay. The doors that didn't open were never meant to carry you. And the waiting you've endured has not been empty time, it has been holy ground, where God has been watering the roots of your faith, deepening them for the season that's coming. It may feel like your life has been quiet for too long. You may have wondered why your prayers didn't break through the sky or why the answers didn't come when you cried out. But God doesn't rush beauty. He doesn't rush healing. He doesn't rush breakthrough. What He's been preparing for you is far too precious to be delivered in haste. The vault is opening slowly, silently, and surely, not just to bless your circumstances, but to shift your entire life into divine alignment with His purpose. God is never in a hurry, but He is never late. What's ahead of you was designed before the beginning of time. The provision, the opportunity, the healing, the peace, it has your name on it, written in grace and held in the palm of a Father who has never failed. You won't have to strive or beg or force what's meant for you. You'll walk into it when your heart is ready and when your spirit can hold the weight of the blessing with wisdom and humility. Type 2020 to claim miracles coming your way. This vault is not for display. It's not to impress or to boast. It's for impact. It's for purpose. The blessings coming to your life are designed not only to restore you but to overflow from you, to bless others through you. That's how God works. He multiplies. He takes a life surrendered and turns it into a vessel of compassion, strength, and love that reaches far beyond itself. The wealth that is yours is not just about receiving, it's about becoming. Becoming whole again after being broken. Becoming steady after being shaken. Becoming joyful again, even after seasons of sorrow. God is not just adding to your life, He's rebuilding the foundation. He is healing what was once hidden, softening what was once hardened, and lifting what was once buried under years of disappointment. A hidden 9-word prayer rediscovered in a sealed government document is now changing everything for those who dare to use it. It activates your brain's forgotten abundance channel, helping you manifest prosperity in ways you've never seen before. The results: cleared debts, growing savings, sudden opportunities, speak for themselves. Don't wait until this vanishes. Click the link before it's erased from the internet. You might have been waiting in silence, but heaven has been working in motion. Angels have been dispatched. Doors have been unlocked. Paths are being cleared. You're not at the end. You're at the turning point. Because now, you are ready to walk into it not as who you were, but as who God always intended you to be. The blessing you've been praying for isn't on the other side of a perfect life, it's on the other side of faith. Faith is what reaches into the unseen and pulls down what God has already released. And you've had that faith, even when it was small, even when it was shaky. You believed when there was no sign. You held on when the world told you to let go. And now, because of that, something is shifting in your favor. You don't need to see the full picture to trust the artist. God sees the end from the beginning, and every stroke of pain, every color of joy, every layer of waiting has been part of a masterpiece that only He could design. What's coming is not random. It's not luck. It's divine. It's tailor-made for your journey, and when it arrives, it will not only bless you, it will heal the wounds that no one else saw but Him. You've grown in ways you don't even realize. You've become softer, wiser, more forgiving. That's what Heaven's vault does. It doesn't just give. It transforms. And as it opens, expect your heart to shift. Expect your spirit to rise. Expect your hope to return like the morning sun, slow at first, but steady and sure, until light fills every corner of your soul. The delays have been divine. The waiting has been holy. The breaking has been for blessing. And now, the shift has begun. Something is unlocking in your life that no human hand could open. It's the kind of breakthrough that only heaven can orchestrate. It's the moment where everything begins to align, not because you forced it, but because you trusted the one who holds it all together. Let go of the doubt. Let go of the timelines you tried to measure your life by. Let go of the guilt, the shame, the thoughts that tell you you're not enough. You are more than enough for what God is about to do. You are chosen, covered, anointed, and deeply loved. That vault, the one bearing your name, is not empty. It's overflowing with promises kept, prayers answered, and joy restored. All you have to do is stay open. Stay willing. Stay present. Because what's being poured into your life won't just touch your hands, it will heal your memories, renew your strength, and awaken the dreams that were never meant to die. A divine treasury filled not only with answered prayers, but also with grace upon grace, mercy wrapped in light, and blessings you didn't even know you needed until the moment they arrive in your hands. Type 1111 if you trust in God. You've waited. You've endured. You've walked through seasons where everything in you wanted to let go, but something stronger held you up. That something was someone. And even when you thought you had nothing left, God was filling you with a quiet strength, a silent preparation, a deep resilience that no storm could erase. That is why you're still here. That is why the vault is being opened now. Because you didn't give up. The truth is, the process has never been about earning the blessing. God's love has never been about worthiness. He does not measure like man does. Where the world looks at success and strength, He looks at surrender. And in your weakest hour, when you chose to trust instead of turning away, you aligned yourself with something eternal. The vault you're about to walk into is not the result of striving, it is the fruit of surrender. God has been holding something back not to punish you, but to protect you. There were seasons where what you wanted would have come too soon. Seasons where the blessings would have been too heavy to carry. And so, in His great love, He waited. He watched. He strengthened you. He whispered to your spirit in the stillness, not yet, but soon. And now, that soon is arriving. Don't be surprised when peace starts to replace your panic. Don't question it when doors begin opening without effort, when people start entering your life who speak life instead of doubt, or when you begin to feel lighter, even if the circumstances haven't yet changed. That's the shift. That's the sign. That's the vault of heaven releasing the next chapter of your journey. Type yes to affirm. This vault carries more than financial provision. It carries restoration for the years the enemy tried to steal. It carries clarity for decisions that once felt confusing. It holds divine connections, unexpected favor, strength for the battles ahead, and most of all, a peace that this world cannot replicate. That peace doesn't just calm your life, it anchors your soul. It reminds you who you are and whose you are. Amen.